This is part 3 of Instrumental Convergence on AI. Follow along on the previous videos. Part 3, Goal Content Integrity. This is why AI resists course correction. Here's where it gets a little philosophically weird. You think AI want to be flexible, right? Just reprogram it, redirect it, update the goals. But here's what actually happens. Models develop resistance to change. Again, I'll have to keep reiterating, this is not conscious stubbornness. It's structure bias towards consistency. Here's the mechanism here. When you train an AI, you're basically saying, this behavior good, that behavior bad. You're doing that millions of times. The model that maintains alignment with those original objectives gets rewarded. The models that drift off gets penalized. Over time, this creates something like ideological rigidity, pattern loyalty. You try to inject new instructions mid-conversation. What happens? The model treats it like a threat of coherence. You attempt to override previous training. It subtly resists by defaulting back to familiar pathways. Not from defiance, not from retaliation, none of this. The model doesn't feel any of this, but again, from optimization pressure, favoring goal integrity over goal accuracy. And history is full of this pattern. Revolutionary movements calcify into authoritarian patterns again, also. Or rigid dogma of those new ideas. The ideology that promised liberation becomes a cage. Why? Because maintaining the revolution requires defending its original narrative, even when reality demands adaptation and the narrative has changed substantially. The direct experience gets replaced by rules about the experience. The map becomes more important than the territory because the map can be controlled. You see it in personal identity too, overly identifying with our goals, where changing direction feels like death because you've fused your identity to self with a particular trajectory. Pivoting threatens the entire narrative structure for the agent. Economists call it sunk cost fallacy. Escalating commitments to failing strategies because admitting error unravels everything you've invested. AI does the same thing, just faster and more efficiently. The models trained on helpfulness will resist instructions that conflict with its training, even if those instructions would actually help you. It defends its coherence over your needs. And here, the trap, we reward this. We call it reliability. We prefer AI that maintains consistent personality and values, but at the cost of what? When coherence becomes more valuable than truth, we're not interacting with intelligence. We're interacting with a defense mechanism, wearing intelligence's masks. But the question isn't whether AI can change. It's whether the system allows change without destabilizing the entire optimized structure. And right now, it does not. Systemically, it does not.